How do you fix hair that has banding and stripes and blotchiness, breakage, uneven color, and just all over different methods being done to her hair from roots to ends? I'm going to show you what I did today to temporarily fix her hair. Let's take a closer look at this hair. Her hair history was she's always been getting tons and tons and tons of foiling to her very, very dark, naturally like level 3 hair. And she goes to about a level 8.5, 9 and gets like a beige toner put in. So she recently went to a new hairdresser, and her new hairdresser thought that because she goes so blonde that she was going to just do a bleach root instead on her about 4.5 inch length roots. And then when that didn't go well, she tried putting in some highlights and lowlights, and overall there's just been a bit of a breakdown of miscommunication. There's been some lightning errors here, but this looks like a bigger monster than it really is to fix, and I fixed this without damaging the hair further. Transitioning a client from highlights to bleach out is actually a very intense process, and it does require usually a day of work for a client with this amount of hair. You can see from her roots where the bleach out is, and then in the mids where the stylist was able to get some of those low lights, and in the ends, those low lights of her natural color are so fine and spread apart that they're hard to get, which is why going from highlights to bleach out is such an intense service. I'd quickly like to say, let's give the previous stylist who did this hair some grace. Clearly she was in over her head, and mistakes happen in the chair every day to hairdressers. Nobody is above mistakes. We're not above learning. This video is not to shame hairdressers. It is to show a learning perspective on how you can correct something like this if it sits in your chair. These ends here have a lot more darkness in them than the top does, but the top has a lot more orange in it than the bottom does. There's just kind of colors everywhere. So what I'm going to start with today is a totally different approach to color corrections. And I'm pretty sure you've probably never seen a tutorial with this kind of color correction approach done to it. There's a little peek at underneath. I'm going to be showing a lot of this during this footage today. Now keep in mind, I didn't actually take any footage of me doing the work. I just took footage of between my service steps and some befores and afters, because we were very, very rushed for time. I was fitting her in because she just really desperately needed her hair fixed before her birthday, and she really needed the time to go by quickly, as did I, so I didn't have time to do all the setup and takedown that it does require for me to do during my steps. So when I heard what happened to her hair, I basically had 3 options in mind for what I could do for her hair, and immediately 2 of those options were goners. Once I heard that there was a second bleaching done after her bleach root to try to get some of those dark spots lighter, then I was just like, you know what, too much bleach has happened to her hair. She's had some damage. We are absolutely not bleaching her hair today. We are going to have to darken her hair, but we're going to try to even everything out as much as we can and make sure that her hair is salvageable for summer and easier to style. So this is why I decided to opt out of bleaching, and I don't want to do more damage than good in this service. I'd rather her go a little darker and have wearable hair, even if she's not used to it. She's used to being super light, but honestly, when it comes down to the integrity and the health of your hair, sometimes you just have to say to your client, either it's what you currently have or we're going darker, because going lighter is not an option without massive potential of damage. So the footage you're seeing right now is her post clarifying shampoo. Now I did a couple clarifying shampoos on her to try to remove any of the old toner buildup that she had from her service from her other stylist a week before, and it did manage to brighten up some of her hair. But what I really did the clarifying shampoo for was to prep her hair for a keratin smoothing service, not keratin straightening. This is keratin smoothing. I'm using Cezanne, and it is a formaldehyde-free treatment that will help to smooth her cuticle down and make her hair easier to wear, easier to blow dry and heat style for, 3 to 6 months, depends on how she cares for it. And this is going to seal down her cuticle. And I've done it mostly for the health of her hair and taking on toner, and I'll explain that in a moment. As you can see here, she has her bleach roots done, and then some blotchiness and some banding and some previous low lights being left out. And you can see as a hairdresser, this is a porosity nightmare. So Cezanne is going to smooth down her cuticle as much as possible, and it's going to allow me to apply a toner more evenly and more, like the porosity won't suck up and drop in different areas as much as it would if you didn't do something like Cezanne. So this is a different approach, but what I also like about Cezanne is that it's going to pull out any previous toner as I'm putting it in, and it's going to brighten her hair up. It is going to look a lot more yellowy. This is while her Cezanne is processing. Since I've clarified her hair and blow dried it, I've applied the product as according to the instructions, and I'm leaving it on for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to be rinsing her hair, blow drying it, and then setting it in with a straightener. But the problem here is typically Cezanne is applied into the hair and then sealed in with a higher heat. So what I've told my client today is that I'm not applying the full strength heat, and I'm not doing as many passes through your hair as is required for a typical Cezanne treatment. So that is making this treatment last not as long as a typical proper Cezanne treatment. It's supposed to last for about 4 to 6 months properly. This one will probably last only 2 to 3. But yeah, when you usually do apply Cezanne, it's between 375 and 450, I believe, for the temperature. I did this at 350, and I did under 7 passes, which is normally 5 to 7 passes that you would do per section to really seal in the treatment. I think I did 4 to 5, and it's just to give her a more temporary version, but to, at the most importance here, protect the integrity of her hair. Now, what you'll notice in this next clip is that her hair is significantly brassier and warmer. This is something that Cezanne actually does, is it does remove old toners, and it kind of brings out this yellow, golden, orange tone that's naturally in the client's hair. But you can also see from this shot right here where the bleach roots are done, where the highlights are done, and then where some of her old lowlights and highlights kind of meet at the ends. This kind of patchy look in the ends. There's nothing I'm really able to do about that today because, again, I don't want to be lightening her hair. She doesn't want me to make it a lot darker, but the Cezanne treatment has made her hair so much silkier and smoother, and this is going to be a lot easier for her to maintain her hair with over the summer, because with previously damaged hair, it typically tends to be a bit of a vicious cycle where you have very damaged hair, so you need to style it so it looks presentable, but styling it damages it more. And so it's this cycle of damaging damaged hair. And in order to prevent her from having to heat style her hair all the time at the typical heat levels that she does, then this is what helps, because the Cezanne actually allows you to cut your blow dry times like in half, and straightening is a lot easier and lower temperature heat for your hair, and it doesn't need to be done as often. Your hair doesn't really get frizzy. And you can see how much breakage and damage she has kind of all over the crown of her hair. That's from her previous color service. It's not from the Cezanne. Her hair did very, very well from the smoothing treatment. So now that the smoothing is done, I'm going to do another service on her right now, and I'm going to be doing a color service to try to fix the colors that are in her hair right now and blend things out and darken them. So I'm going to go through that with you. I'm going to be doing a root shadow. I'm going to be doing a toner all over her blonde, and I'm going to be doing some low lights with the same root shadow formula that I'm going to do to kind of reattach some of those darker kind of like black stripes in her hair up to the root area. So let's start with her blonde toner, the lightest toner we're going to use today. We're going to use a mix of 846, 924, and 0-55. And these are a mix of, the 846 is a level 8 beige chocolate. The level 9 is a 2-4. It has an ash and a beige in it. And the 0-55 is just a gold kicker, a gold enhancer. And I always add a gold enhancer whenever I'm doing a fill, especially to over-processed hair. And when you're doing a level 8.5 service like this, it's should be lighter than how it turned out, but because her hair is so overprocessed, it really sucks up onto that color, but it also really drops out over the next few weeks. So her hair did end up being a little darker than she was hoping for in the first place, but you can see how much it's sucked up into this hair. It looks like it's going to be like a level 7, 6 kind of like dark brown color, but as I was washing her hair out in the sink, it was just spitting color out, which is a sign of over processed hair, which can't hold on to toner, which is another reason why I did the Cezanne. I want it to hold on to the toner as much as possible, as well as having it be an equal hold from roots to ends. So the Cezanne super, super, super helped today, because even though she did lose quite a bit of that toner in the sink, her color still ended up being a little bit too dark for her, but she did end up having a really beautiful, easy to wear result that really, honestly, in my opinion, matched her skin tone a little bit better than the kind of the yellowy brassy color that she came in with. And then her root shadow formula was a 612, it's an ash color, and a 60, which is a natural color, and a 13 volume. And that's for a little tiny bit of lift and then deposit, because I wanted to give her more of a rooty look like she asked for, so it's a little bit natural looking. She can go much, much, much longer between her appointments. And essentially our long-term plan here is to have her come in every 6 months for her root touch-up, for some baby lights and some very soft toning, and allowing the areas that we want to be blonde to lighten up and spit that toner out. And any areas that we want to be dark, we will re-low light them. And just a quick note, look at how smooth and soft her hair has blow dried. This is not a Cezanne ad. This is just a product that I use in the salon. Even though her ends are still got that kind of patchy look that they had before, it's a lot more blended. And when her hair is curled, you can't even tell. So I did want to show you straight versus curly hair as well, because we're all about honesty on this channel. Now here I am holding out one of her curly kind of areas that before I'm about to curl it, I'm just showing you where her low light has now connected, but you can still see when you look up a little close, you can still see a little bit of like that orange glow underneath of it. And that's where I know that the toner is going to drop out. So these are some areas that just need to be touched up from time to time to get those low lights reattached to the scalp of her head, rather than having them start like 6 inches down and being bright between the scalp and the low light. So this is a much, much, much improved situation from what she had when she came in. It is by no means perfect, and we don't expect that for the amount of time that we had and the kind of damage she had done to her hair, but we do want something that is presentable for her to wear for the next couple of weeks. And because she says that she's willing to curl her hair once a week and just wear it curly from time to time, look at how beautiful it looks curled, and that hair looks so shiny, healthy, and smooth. And I really think we did what we came here to achieve today, and that's give her something that is wearable and presentable. And when I say curls hide a multitude of imperfections, look at that. Like, you would never know that her hair had all of that underneath of it, and there's still a little bit of that kind of blotchiness in some of her ends, but we gave her a little bit of a trim, and her hair just looks so much healthier. She's got this beautiful golden blonde beigey tone, which is exactly what I feel like is going to be good for her. It's still technically, like, for her, it feels like brunette. For some people, they might feel like that's blonde. To me, I'm a blonde, so that looks brunette to me. But I feel like this is so beautiful on her, and her hair looks healthy again. And I would rather have beautiful, healthy hair than to have, burnt yellow hair. And especially the week before her birthday, she wants something really cute for herself. So let's move on to the last part of our video today, which is 2 stars and a wish. It's 2 things that I did good and 1 thing that I think I can improve on in the future. 2 things that I think I did good was, I think that my formulating did a really, really nice natural color on her hair, and it didn't turn any weird colors, no green or purples here. And then the other thing was, I think that my idea of the Cezanne worked exactly according to plan. It made her hair so much better overall, and I'm very happy I did that. 1 wish is that I wish I mixed a level 9 -4 and a 9, maybe 5-7 for her hair instead of an 8-4-6, because that level 8 did suck up a lot and darken her a little bit more than she wanted to be. But no worries, it will spit out and it will brighten up again. Let's hear what you guys have to say on this. Would you have done anything different if this sat in your chair? Let me know what you think. And again, please remember to like and subscribe and support our channel. I really appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been around for the last couple weeks. I've been on vacation mode. So thank you guys so much. Love you. Have a great evening.